The heart, like the mind, has a memory, and in it are kept the most precious keepsakes. Alka Chadha Harpalani, originally from Punjab, now settled in Bangalore, wears many hats. Apart from having worked as an associate professor for 15 years, she is a painter, poet, researcher, content writer, editor, panel expert, and member of various committees. She has won many awards. Her portfolio has been featured in international magazines and she has participated in numerous national and international exhibitions, seminars, and workshops. She tries to merge boundaries of different mediums, whether it is mixed media, digital, assemblage, or installation. Her art is an amalgamation of images, textures, and calligraphy that acts as design in background. I use mixed media to integrate sensations into coherent painterly forms where one can see intensification, clarification, and interpretation of various experiences in various degrees. The brushwork is declaration of my personal freedom where mixed media supports me in creating visual variety. In a few words, it's a correspondence between feeling, form, and technique where my painting continues to change and grow at every step, she says about her signature style. Alka incorporates imagery like old handwritten diaries, spool of thread, paper windmills, typewriters, cassettes, slippers, umbrellas, withered newspapers, and many more, placing them on each other or sometimes assembling and hanging them on a background of broad brushstrokes or splashes of paint. This renders a voice to her art, making it initiate and engage in a dialogue with the viewer. The recurring characteristic that runs as a common thread in these interactive mixed media visuals is an envelope with a red wax seal. It is as though memories of past are sealed in these envelopes and kept close to the artist's heart.
Hi, I'm Alka Chadha Harpalani from Bangalore. To start with, I would like to quote Delacroix's famous quote, which says that what moves a man of genius, or rather what inspires their work, is not new ideas, but the obsession with the idea that what has already been said is not enough. And I feel that that's a suitable quote for all the artists who work in series and who try to explore as many possibilities as possible through the realistic approach or the experimental approach. I got a chance to pursue my BFA from College of Arts Chandigarh from 91 to 95, and later on I went to Faculty of Visual Arts Banaras Hindu University, pursued my MFA and PhD from the same place. And I feel that this specialization is the one which kept me pushing on the track of creativity and made me an artist. Later on, I got a chance to teach for 15 years almost as an assistant professor in Higher Education Commission's job. And now I am a freelancer. I paint, I write, and I am involved in e-learning projects also. The conservative and conventional society of Varanasi exposed me to myriad aspects of religion, This contrast of cultures. As I came from Chandigarh, then I went to Banaras. So the perception became a perfect blend of conventions and modernism. And then this condensation of sensation, it started getting imprinted in my paintings. As I was an introvert, I started writing poetry, and these poetry slowly started seeping into my paintings also to express my feelings. And expression through visual representation and creating, the new thoughts through words, it helped me in making my own art language. I started using mixed media. where I didn't hesitate in using acrylics, dry pastels, drawing inks, markers, collage even, and finally to integrate all my sensations into these coherent painterly forms. At some places you will see intensification, at some there's some clarification, and then interpretation of various experiences at various degrees. So varied mediums in a way started triggering my imagination and coaxed me to explore myriad possibilities in my expression. There are times when there's even more clogging in my thoughts, because too many thoughts can also be occupied in mind, and then you feel a sudden block in your thoughts also at certain situations. But gradually it cleanses, and again you start your work. And I also at some places install a related object over my paintings, like if it is regarding letters, I try to hang a post box over it. And if it is about togetherness, I have even hung the fiber hands tied with a red pious thread over it. So it's just to engage the emotions of the spectator by inviting them to dwell imaginatively by delimitation of any line between them and the art. So in a way I will say that I try to mix my magics, if I can say that. And talking about inspirations, whether it was sunrise, sunsets, walks on ghats, essence of tea in Kullad, religion, chakra of life and death, so many things, these brought me closer to reality and increased the sensitivity in me. They came into my poetry, and my paintings became an intense concoction of words and images. There came many series in my work. One of them was traveling, where I started pasting my railway and platform tickets in my paintings as I used to collect them while my frequent travels from home to my place where I used to study. Imprints of Varanasi came, where the holy scriptures were added to my work, and the bright colors, the ritualistic colors of red and orange, they also came in my paintings, along with a few scribbles of mantras in background. So calligraphy had been a part of my works along with collage since 1995. So there was a memory bag also, where the memories of time spent in Chandigarh and Varanasi were made. So, and then pages of my diary, where I have used, the myriad aspects, same kinds and different kinds, together and separate, as each page reflected its own story. Nostalgia has been a major part of my work since long. Tapes, cassette players were there in early 2000s also. Then there were misprints, which I faced, became a part of my PhD research. There are certain dejections, there are certain challenges you face, and these misprints can mean something and mean nothing to you. They can be a learning process, they can be, your frustrations or whatever, but they became a part of my works. Then came the series on we, togetherness. There I have used the fiber hands, which I am talking of, with whom, and hands were very frequently seen in this phase. Unfinished story was there, which had my experiences of conception of a baby. So, in a way, my works became pictorial diary to me. stimulated my imagination further, where each page, like I told you, can be representing a similar or a varied thought, wandering thoughts. They are seeping through, split, splash, and splatter in this current series, which I'm painting on letters, the postcards, envelopes, which I feel are the precious keepsakes and which never go obsolete. In my series, you can see there are origami lovebirds, dates of calendar which matter, childhood fascinations like pinwheel, weaving flowers through thread and needle, thread tying two hands from a distance, showing a long distance relationship, which is again in a way related to letters. So, old telephones, typewriters, my foot and his slippers, paper boat, ink pot. There are so many elements like paper knife, but all these are the components which are the supporting element in my series of letters and postcards. These are just like meanderings, where the wandering thoughts, when you think of letters, what all comes to your mind? It's the long distance relationship, it's the storyline, it's the storyboard, which is depicting the people you are writing the letters or who are receiving the letters. So, to add another aspect to it, I have used original hot wax. I have heated it and stamped over my painted letters just to create another dimension of nostalgia, a smell which you can relate to in my artworks. So, in short, winding up, I can just say that my brushwork is a declaration of personal freedom, where mixed media supports me in creating visual variety, and it's a correspondence between feelings, form, and technique, where my paintings continue to change and grow at every step. So the whole essence is to bring the work to the simplest form despite reflecting the complex emotions and experiences. Like Vincent van Gogh said, as practice makes perfect, I cannot but make progress. And each drawing one makes, each study one paints is a step forward. Thank you.